Okay, so we are going to take a look at probability, which is basically just the likelihood that something will happen. So, nice simple example, let's say we're flipping a coin. So there are two possible outcomes, right? We could either get heads or we could get tails. So, our probability can be written as, so the probability of an event, so let's say in this case, probability of getting heads, is equal to the number of favorable outcomes. So in this case, there's 1 heads, right? So we would write P, probability of flipping heads, is equal to, well, there's 1 possible heads, and then 2 total, right? Because we could get heads or we could get tails, which is a total of 2 outcomes. So the probability of getting heads when we flip a coin is 1/2. Okay, so let's take a look at another example and the probability. So let's say we have a nice little spinner. So let's put a circle up there. Okay, so we've got a circle, and we'll say, I know these aren't perfect, but we're going to say those are 3 equal spaces in this circle. So we'll have one of them be, let's say, yellow. Okay, we'll just do our best to shade that in real quickly. So one of them will be yellow, one of them will be red. And one will be blue. Okay. So this is going to be one of those little spinners, right? Where you've got a little, let's draw it here, right? You've got a little black spinner like this, and you spin it around, and it lands on one of these 3 colors. So in this case, right, we could ask, what is the probability that I would spin and land on this red color? So in that case, probability of spinning red would be equal to, again, the number of favorable outcomes, so there's only 1 chance that I land on red, over the total possible number of outcomes. So P of red equals 1, and there are 3 different colors. So probability that it would land on red is 1/3. Okay, so that's how we can find the probability of this sort of thing. Okay, so now let's take a look at combined and special events. So these are a little different. I'll read a problem to you and then we can get started on it. A box contains 1 red cube, 3 green cubes, and 4 blue cubes. Pick 1 cube from the box at random. What is the probability that you will pick red or green? Okay, so let's go ahead and draw a little, terrible picture, but a picture representing our box. So there's our box, and it's got 1 red cube, so we'll make 1 little red cube. Okay, not exactly a cube, but you get the idea. We'll have 3 green cubes. 1, 2, 3, and 4 blue cubes. Okay, now we want to know the probability that we would draw that we would pick either red or green. Okay, so this time it's not saying we will pick one specific color, but we've got multiple colors. So our probability still being the possible, or the total number of favorable outcomes. So in this case, we're going to write P of red or green. Oops. Red or green is equal to, okay, how many total favorable outcomes are? Well, we want it to be red or green. So if we count, 1, 2, 3, 4 of these are either red or green. So that's 4. And then the total number of outcomes, well, I could pick this one, 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 or this one. So there are 8 possible cubes that I could draw out of here. So that would be 4, over 8, and we can always simplify our probability, so 4/8 would be 1/2. So the probability that I draw red or green out of this box would be 1/2. Okay, so let's do another one. Okay, same image. What is the probability that I draw a yellow cube out of this box? Okay, well, if we look at it, how many possible outcomes, favorable outcomes, are there? Well, there's no yellow cube, so that would be 0, right? So this time, probability of yellow would be equal to 0 over, again, 8 total possible outcomes, and that would just be 0, right? It is not at all likely that I will draw a yellow cube out of this box because there is no yellow cube. Okay? Then we could do another one and say, okay, what's the probability that I will pick a cube that is not pink? Okay, and again, if we look at this, none of these cubes are pink, so probability that I would pick not pink, well, would be 8 out of 8, right? So let's write not pink. This pen writes very slowly, I apologize. Okay, so probability that it's not pink. Well, 8 of these cubes are not pink, and there are 8 total cubes. So if I draw 1 out of there, 8 over 8 equals 1. So a probability of 1 means it is absolutely going to happen. So anytime that I go to draw a cube out of this box, it will always not be pink, because that is not a possibility. So that is a look at probability.